Hey everybody, this is the Unit 31 Grammar Quiz Review video, and we'll be reviewing the present progressive. Okay, so just to give you an idea about the format of this quiz, there are 5 fill-in-the-blank questions. You will complete the sentence with the present progressive, which means you're going to have to conjugate S star and form the participle with the given verb. To give you an idea of what that looks like, here's an example. Marco blank. And then our verb in parentheses says hablar. So in our instructions, it says the participle is given. So we have to conjugate estar and then form the participle with hablar. So we want the sentence to say Marco is talking. All right, and you can see there below the answer, what we're looking for. You're going to conjugate estar to esta, and then you're going to put hablando with the ando on there because it's an AR verb. So your full answer, Marco está hablando. Again, remember just to fill in the blank part. Okay, so let's review a little bit about the present progressive. Remember that the present progressive is used for what's happening right now. Okay, so for example, estoy hablando con Juan. I am talking to Juan. It has to be something I'm doing right now. So if I'm not on the phone with Juan right now, I'm going to, if I want to say like I'm talking to Juan this evening, I will not use present progressive because it has to be what we're doing right now. So if that action is not happening right now, we'll just use regular old present tense that we've been working on since the beginning of school. So keep that in mind, that present progressive is just for what's happening right now. Okay, so there are 2 steps for forming the present progressive. Step 1 is to conjugate S star. We are going to conjugate a star for the subject pronoun. So we got to find the subject in the sentence, like a second ago we saw Marco, to figure out what form of a star that we need. Okay, so here's the conjugation for a star. If yo is your subject, you'll use estoy. If tú is a subject, estás. Ella or usted está. Nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, and then ellos, ellas, and ustedes están. So we've been working on this verb for a really long time. Nothing has changed about it. We're still using it in the present tense form. And make sure that you choose the form that matches up with the subject of that sentence. And again, remember that this means am is are, since estar means to be. Okay, so part 2 is creating the participle. And there are 2 different kind of participles, since we do one thing for AR verbs and another for ER and IR. So let's start with AR verbs. For AR verbs, we're going to take off the AR and we're going to add ANDO, ondo. So for example, if we had estar there, we'd take off the AR and we'd put on ondo, we'd come up with estando. Okay, and for ER and IR verbs, we're going to take off the ER or the IR and we're going to add ENDO, I-E-N-D-O. So that little suffix is going to be the same for ER or an IR verb. Okay, and this is called the present participle. This is the ing part of the word. So this is, when we're saying I am talking, this is the talking part. Okay, so I also want to make sure you remember your irregular participles. There are quite a few verbs that have something irregular going on. Y'all know that. So, of course, there are some participles that are irregular as well. And you can see below that some of these have spelling changes. Some are a stem change, spelling change, and then others have a Y thrown in because there's just so many vowels next to each other. So make sure you take some time to memorize these, just to run them down really quickly. So caer is cayendo, and that's because there would have been so many vowels here next to each other, we changed that I to a Y. Same thing with creer going to creyendo. Decir goes to diciendo, that's a stem change. The E goes to I. Dormir goes to durmiendo. Note it's the U here, there's no UE. So be very careful with that. Ear is just weird. Y'all know it's usually irregular. So ear is going to be yendo. Leer is going to be leyendo. Again, a lot of vowels next to each other. Usually we throw out the I and make it a Y. Okay, moving down, mentir means to lie. This is a newer word for us. And that E changes to I, so stem change. Morir means to die, and it's a stem change as well. The O goes to a U. And then the last one, oir, too many vowels again, so we change it to a Y, oyendo. So the list is not too big. Make sure to look over this before you take this quiz, so that you can account for anything that's irregular. Okay, so we're going to do a little practice like what's on the quiz here. So our directions, just like the quiz, say don't complete each sentence with the present progressive. You've been provided with the verb for the participle, but don't forget to conjugate a star. So don't just put in the bailando part, make sure to conjugate a star, okay? So take a look at number 1. It says Marta y yo blank. We wanted to say Marta and I are dancing. So we need to consider our subject, which is Marta y yo. Marta and I would be nosotros, which is we. So we need the nosotros form of a star, so we're going to put estamos. And then we look down there at bailar, it's an AR verb. So to make the participle, we're going to take off the AR, and we're going to plug in ando, and we come up with estamos bailando. Now we have a full sentence. So when you're taking this quiz, make sure that you put both parts, the estar part and the participle. If you only put one or the other, it is incorrect. Okay, número 2. Ella blank la tarea. I wanted to say she is doing her homework. All right, so right now we've got she and we've got homework. We've got to come up with the is doing part. So our subject is ella, which means the form of a star we need is está. And then our participle is going to come from hacer. We're going to take off the ER, and then we're going to plug in yendo, and we come up with está haciendo. Número 3. Tu blank la casa. I want to say you are cleaning the house. So we need the to form of estar, which is estás. And then our participle verb here is limpiar. So we're going to take off the AR, add ando. We come up with limpiando, put the whole thing back together. Tu estás limpiando la casa. And that's it. All right, last one. Los estudiantes blank el libro para la clase. So I wanted to say the students something, the book for the class. Okay, we know these are all present progressive. So we want to say the students are reading. Our verb here is leer, which means to read. Y'all know that one. So our subject this time is los estudiantes. Just like number 1, we have to think, okay, what is our pronoun here? If I replace the students with something, I would replace that with they, which we know in Spanish is ellos. So we need the ellos form of a star. So están. And then for our participle, leer is irregular. Remember those irregulars I just showed you? It has a Y in there. So make sure that you look over those so you can come up with están leyendo. If you were to just put the regular old I-E-N-D-O, hopefully something in your brain is going to say, that doesn't look quite right. There are very few words that would have 3 vowels right next to each other because it would be very difficult to pronounce. So kind of keep that in mind. And if it looks funny, you might want to kind of double check yourself there, okay? And that's basically what you're doing on this quiz. So biggest thing, don't forget to do both parts. You have to do estar and the participle. All right, and remember the participle part is ando y endo. You are not conjugating that verb for regular present tense. You're conjugating estar. Okay, so if you still need more practice, make sure to attend the live sessions this week. We'll be working with the present progressive in class. Make sure to do all your activities in the OHS. We have lots and lots of good practice there for you. And then remember, you can always request a learner conference to meet with your teacher one-on-one. So make us proud. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher.